Hey, what's happening, MMA fans? Welcome back to another edition of StaredownMMA TV. In this edition, we're going to focus on the rematch coming up between Ian Uncle Creepy McCall and Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. That should have been concluded at the debut for the UFC Flyweight division at the Sydney, Australia event that was headlined by Martin Kampmann and Thiago Alves. But as we all know right now, slight miscalculation on the scorecards. They initially announced the decision in favor of Johnson in a majority decision ruling. That was reversed around 15 minutes later that to a majority draw. But the only problem with that is that all the fighters, all four participants of the flyweight tournament signed sudden death round agreements for these bouts, and that if it went the distance and was scored a draw at the end of 3 rounds, that there was to be a fourth sudden death round to determine a decisive victor in the contests. Well, the Ian McCall and the Demetrius Johnson fight was back and forth, tons of action, rapidly paced, exactly as the UFC promoted it as potentially one of the most exciting weight classes in the UFC once it gets rolling. It was weird, and it was totally back and forth, but then McCall pretty much took over and started to dominate in the third round, and by the end of the contest actually had Demetrius in a pretty precarious position. He was raining down blows, actually had his back with the hooks in, chose to possibly do a little bit too much mugging for the crowd, but as Greg Jackson always says, go get yourself some fans. Ian McCall definitely earned himself some fans that night. And in many fans' eyes, actually, they scored him winning the bout because of that third round was so dominant. And the first 2 rounds being kind of split down the middle could have gone either way. Some said, well, he won round 1 or won round 2. Plus, you throw in that third round, he actually should have won the fight. So when they announced initially that Demetrius Johnson was the winner, the crowd was so vocal in their displeasure for the ruling that they were actually chanting obscenities at such a volume that the UFC and FX broadcast actually had to mute it so the television viewers couldn't hear the chants of BS, BS over and over again. So it was good to at least know that the decision was reversed, it's now a majority draw, and that they will actually get a chance to finish the business that they started at the Sydney event. So, tough finale. The Dominic Cruz, Uriah Faber, June, that's supposedly the date. That's tentative. It's supposedly in June. We don't know the exact date yet, but it's going to be at the tough finale that the Uncle Creepy Mighty Mouse 2 fight is going to go down. So interesting proposition. I feel kind of bad for Joseph Benavidez in that he actually has to sit around now a little bit longer than expected and wait for the conclusion of their the upcoming rematch fight between these guys until he gets to fight for his first UFC title. But anyway, that's it for this episode. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my sponsor, multimonitors.com Super PC. These guys are the best. I want to go ahead and check out the links that I have listed below for all the websites. I have more detailed information at my own website, as long as my others here. And subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+. I'm pretty easy to find out there, and I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you later. Rock on.